Are you ready?
As always, yeah.
Always ready.
So my name is Marily.
My name is Stanislav.
My name is Clara.
Kajetan.
Malahat.
Mikita.
I am Aditya Ranjan.
I'm Hendrik.
My name is Ronek and I'm coming from Estonia.
I come from Slovakia, from University of Saint Cyril and Methodius.
I'm from the United States and I've been living in Berlin, Germany.
I'm a student here at University of Gdańsk.
I come from Tallinn, Estonia.
India.
Greifswald in Germany.
Azerbaijan.
I'm Estonian.
Vilnius from Lithuania, but I'm originally Belarusian. I decided to participate in this school because I'm genuinely curious person. So my professor suggested me, she told me about this summer school. And I was that's interesting.
There was a public announcement in our university that applications for this summer school are open.
It's quite relevant to my topic of studies because I'm studying political science and
I'm working on this region, Baltic Sea region, particularly related to marine environmental protection. So that's why I decided to come here.
This opportunity I found suddenly on the internet, and it caught my interest.
I looked into the program and thought, Balticness, this is something that I would want to learn more about.
On the one hand, I have something to offer, I can express some things about the history of the region.
I always interested Balticness history, culture.
And it sounded very interesting, and I've never been to Poland or the city of Gdańsk.
I wanted to learn more about the history of the Baltic region.
But on the other hand, I like to hear the other people from other countries that would contribute some different approaches from the other humanities.
We can approach from the different things.
Different perspective, different peoples, how they can share their ideas about Baltics.
And I decided to come here and see what's gonna happen.
Most memorable, I think the first day. I really enjoyed the introductions that we had and the interactive workshop.
So we had those workshops about the myths and narrations.
We had a debate together, and for me it was really the first time that I had been in such a room with so many engaged young people. It made me want to continue and learn more.
We went to the immigration museum where I saw some documents, some Polish immigrants how they went USA.
We were taken to a tour around the museum and were shown how migration has affected the Polish society over the years.
Got to know about the history of immigration and migration.
It was very impressive. I liked the way they designed it and it was very creative.
the summer school so far, I have to say that yesterday when we went swimming.
I guess guys already told you because we had a lot of fun yesterday. We were near Gdynia. We were just in the forest, in the cliff. We were looking at the view. But then we came to the beach and I was thinking that everybody's tired.
And we didn't have any swim clothes, so we just went with our clothes to feel the Balticness of the Baltic Sea.
But then suddenly some people started undressing and started to go to the sea.
The sense when I looked back at the coast of Poland and saw these cliffs, I saw these people that participate in this summer school. It was very real for me.
The view was awesome. It was like sunset.
I really felt the feeling of now this is the Baltic region for me.
Baltic identity, it exists somehow.
Exists on the level of organizations, and we can also look at it from the perspective of cooperation.
There perhaps is a feeling, but we don't really have a language to explain or to name it, and this is what we are doing here, trying to put more substance to, in Estonian we will say, trying to put meat to the bones. So there would be this regional identity we can even point at, that yeah, this is a thing.
I think it exists somewhere. If you ask someone who lives in the northern part of Poland, if it would be very close to the seashore, they of course will tell that they identify somehow with the Baltic Sea. If we would ask someone who lives in, for example, Warsaw, it would be harder, but then the idea is somewhere there. The question is how to tell people about the idea that they would identify themselves with it, so it would be more clear, more visible.
I'm looking at this from the perception of ethnologists and a lot of linguistic stuff. Mare Balticum, the Latin term, which was invented by Romans, gave a name to Baltic people who are just now defining themselves as a Baltic, and they have a special language group. So these people are basically the last one who survived from the Baltic tribes. We are connecting this region by environment, language, and the political view. At one point it's like connecting, at one point it's like a bit dividing.
It could exist in these like actual cooperation projects. Outside of that, I don't really think it does.
I wouldn't necessarily say it exists in full, and I think with enough time and if governments actively cooperate and try to achieve that, it could definitely be achievable to create a Baltic identity.
The idea of Balticness, it is still in the making and take concrete shape after a few years or in the coming years.
Pretty much, I think it's unlikely because we have this strong European identity right now, and the states in Baltic Sea region, as we discussed, are very difficult. So, to my opinion, it's very unlikely to happen, but it still might happen because we don't know. We don't know what to expect from this world because everything is very rapidly changing.
My way to the Balticness, to the Baltic regions. So there needs to be someone who will establish some first Baltic studies. And it's not only like the Baltic languages, but it's the whole understanding of the Baltic region.
I would say I'm still searching for it, so I have my own ideas, some cliches that I would assign with the Baltic or Baltic Sea region, but still I would say the whole idea is still wavy a bit, so we do not have those very close boundaries, because we can approach it from the different perspectives, and I think the whole thing comes with the dialogue.
For me, it's already, it's a wider thing than just the Baltic states. It's the West Sea area, let's say. Just feeling home in pretty much all of these countries.
A key point in my journey towards Balticness, this summer school, I've learned so much. Like, I've met so many people from different countries. I think just even talking to these people and trying to really understand their perspectives and given me a new perspective on the region.
I was born in the north of Germany in a former Hanseatic League city, and we did a lot of trips to the Baltic Sea, like on holiday. And then for college I moved to a small town that's right next to the Baltic Sea, and it has just always been a part of my life since I was a little child, and now I'm here.
So I particularly see this Balticness as as a kind of eco-cultural identity. I think that this Balticness is something which is related to environment. Like, we are together here to save the Baltic Sea. So my way to Balticness is to save the Baltic Sea and all the Baltic states.
I would say my way to the Balticness is like cultural exchange between all our states who are like close to Baltic Sea or like on the Baltic Sea shore. Just exploring ourselves, exchanging, talking, discussing, because I would say we have a lot of in common, but at the same time there are a lot of things that make us different, and this is very specific to this region.
It's emerging in this different cultures who have been divided by water for so long time. It's the period of time in history that we really can make use of the Baltic Sea, that we will be connected by it, not divided anymore. It's not time for divisions, it's time to come together.